All I can think is shit. I'm about to conduct a choir during a memorial, and we're closing with a dead tune? Will the parishioners declare me sacrilegious? Will I be able to hold my shit together?
It's the TMI Project Story Hour, a series of true stories created in our writing workshops by everyday unsung heroes. They all divulge the too much information parts we usually keep to ourselves for personal liberation, human connection, and freedom, both for themselves and those who listen. Before we get started, we just want to let you know that as the TMI implies, some content might be too much information for some listeners. And remember, your support keeps our content free and accessible to everyone who wants to listen. So if you like what you hear and you're able to chip in at tmiproject.org, thank you. Either way, we are glad you're listening.
Is that a secret you're keeping?
Hey there, it's Eva, your host for Season 7 of the TMI Project Story Hour, Vicarious Resilience. Just like our award-winning documentary short of the same name, this season we're going to highlight some of the brave souls who stepped on stage, stood in their spotlight, and shared the truth about their lived experience with mental health and mental illness. Today we're celebrating Sam. If you've ever tried to get sober or have witnessed a loved one attempt to, you know how daunting it can be. Sam is a former resident of St. Christopher's, an inpatient facility for addiction and recovery. He shows us that the journey can be hard. It may even require repeated attempts, but it is possible. He also shares some of the nuances of recovery, that it's not a one-size-fits-all solution, and often requires a multifaceted approach. Yes, he turns to treatment, but what he finds is access to his creativity and connection through sharing music and song. This story was presented at Bard College on December 1st, 2022. Now, here's Sam.
I can't believe I'm walking through the doors of St. Christopher's again. I was here almost exactly 2 years ago for 90 days. Back then, I thought I had passed with flying colors when the counselors had propped me up as some kind of golden boy. I walked out in the summer of 2014, feeling ready to put my tangled past behind me, full of grandiose ideas that I was going to do some actual good in the world. Now, for the first few weeks back, I recognize everyone more by their shoes than by their faces. I feel broken beyond repair. Home, for the foreseeable future, is this glorified homeless shelter, where my bedroom is a dormitory of 30 grown men, sounds and smells included. I've given up hope that I'll ever have a sense of stability, a meaningful relationship, or a purpose in life. Thankfully, there are a few familiar, if not altogether friendly faces, from past stints in institutions, jail, and from the streets. I guess I should consider myself lucky. I'm not endlessly walking through a Poughkeepsie winter, shoeless, on my way to being toothless, and wondering when I'll eat or score again. I'm reminded of my first time in detox, when the older comrades treated me like I was innocent. They had warned me to cut this shit out before the real pain sets in and I lose everything. I wish I had been able to really hear their message, because the hurt I felt then was child's play compared to where I am now. I know I've gone over the edge, the one you only know once you've gone over it. I look at the younger faces, the first-timers, with the same look those rehab veterans once gave me. Those guys are mostly dead now. One of the newbies is Eric, a Staten Island kid, barely 18, his whole life ahead of him. He's under his parents' insurance, private insurance, which will only cover 30 days when 90 or more is what's recommended. He is me all those years ago, excited to get the hell out of here and get back to life. He looks at me like I've got a million heads when I tell him that it's not going to be easy on the outside. He brushes me off the same way I brushed off the many warnings in my own past. Desperate to escape the ugly tape loops in my head and itching to pass the time, I agreed to join the church choir. Being the anti-religious son of a preacher man, my idea of a good time definitely does not include singing songs about salvation. But it's better than being glued to the mindless TV every night. And I'm betting it'll be more therapeutic than comparing drug stories while chain smoking with the others. I've always loved singing. People tend to enjoy hearing me, although I do have trouble believing them. In my first rehearsals, I find my reasons to stay. As a group, we sing out our grief and losses while struggling to stay in the same key. I start to look forward to rehearsals because there is a powerful sense of hope that's growing in me. And for the first time, I actually feel like one of the guys. I don't have to pretend something I'm not with this group of society's rejects. Paired with finally being honest with a counselor, I'm developing a sense of self that I had previously hidden away under lock and key. I find myself in the beginning stages of accepting and hopefully digesting and assimilating the shitstorm of a life that I've built for myself. When Ian, our choir director, is coming into an end of his stay, I am nominated to be the new head honcho. I resist at first, but the idea grows on me once Brother Tim, one of the friars, tells me that I can jazz things up a little and add some secular songs to the repertoire. I'm careful to not be a perfectionist like our previous director. Sure, it's nice to sound good, but I know deep in my core that we all need to get some shit out singing. And sometimes you can only get shit out when everyone is singing in a different key. Before I know it, the choir doubles in size. I'm actually getting comfortable in my own skin, more than I can ever remember being without a fix. Am I actually enjoying something again? Eric and a few others love the vibe so much that they start hanging around while we practice, cheering us on with wholehearted gusto. We dub these guys honorary members of the choir. We sing I Shall Be Released by Bob Dylan, See Me, Feel Me by The Who, but everyone's clear favorite is Ripple by Jerry Garcia and Robert Hunter. Ripple is unquestionably a beautiful song that even people with a profound distaste for the Grateful Dead can appreciate. And we are planning to reveal our lively rendition at the next Sunday morning church service. After a little more than a month of rehab, Eric is going home. At his departure celebration, he has a giant smile on his face. Everyone, including myself, is patting him on the back and wishing him Godspeed. Deep down, I fear that his best case scenario is ending up back here, cheering on the choir practice. The following Saturday, Darren calls Eric to check in when he has phone time. But only Eric doesn't pick up the phone. Instead, all Darren hears on the other end of the line is Eric's mother crying, my baby is dead." News of Eric's overdose makes its way through the 180-ish residents and staff, and I'm overcome with grief, a feeling I've become all too familiar with. I now have to conduct a church service in front of my peers, Catholic monks, local parishioners, and Janet from the kitchen, who loves Jesus more than anyone I've ever met. All while trying to process the loss of yet another friend. All I can think is, shit. I'm about to conduct a choir during a memorial, and we're closing with a dead tune? Will the parishioners declare me sacrilegious? Will I be able to hold my shit together? Is Janet going to tear me into little pieces afterwards? This room feels awful. Everyone's face is downcast, and the hurt and heaviness of it all is unbearable. The service is coming to a close, and everyone is dragging. It's hard to sing love songs to God after our collective loss. When Ripple's first notes pour from the piano, the shift is immediate. We start in on the well-practiced lines, and just like that, the Spirit comes in. If my words did glow with the gold of sunshine, and my tunes were played on a harp unstrung. Would you hear my voice come through the music? Would you hold it near as it were your own? We are singing loud, with hearts full, fueled by the timeless lyrics and melody. The sense of relief is palpable and exhilarating as the room erupts clapping, cheers, and tears, and they even sing along to the la-da-das at the end of the song. This ripple is for Eric, and for everything and everyone we have lost along the hard roads we are walking. We feel Eric's dumb, wide-eyed smile cheering us on just like he used to. He is part of the music today, and Ripple is his song. I wouldn't have believed you then, but over 6 years have passed since I decided to put down the needle. And despite my darkest efforts and fears, I am still here. The raucous choir we built has dwindled in numbers, as have many other friends and loved ones. As hard as it is to see those I love move beyond this incarnation, they live on through their songs. Whether I'm making up a hummed melody at work, playing guitar alone in my room, or I'm surrounded by thousands of screaming, self-proclaimed freaks like myself at a concert, the music never stops. Through the music, all those who are gone feel like they're back with me, helping me feel like myself again. There are definitely days when it feels like I'm just waiting for my own song to come on, the one I'll leave behind when I go. In those moments, I recall Jerry and Robert's eternal lyrics of life and death. If you go, no one may follow. That path is for your steps alone. These words remind me that I must keep moving forward, to hear, sing, and share new songs to fill the air.
Thank you, Sam. Your story is a testament to the strength that emerges from vulnerability and the healing power of music. We're happy to share your story in celebration of your sobriety and to let others out there know recovery is possible. If you want to watch Vicarious Resilience, it's available at vicariousresilience.com. If you think you have a problem and want help, call the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Association's National Helpline at 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-4357. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. It really helps. TMI Project is available to offer true storytelling workshops and performances for your school or workplace. To learn more or to support our work, you can find details about it all at tmiproject.org. This episode of the TMI Project Story Hour was produced in partnership with Radio Kingston. It was written, edited, and produced by me, Eva Tenuto, Blake Pfeil, and Raine Grayson. Our theme song is Secrets by Edison Woods. I'm TMI Project's Executive Director. Our Operations and Programs Manager is Blake Pfeil. Our Organizational Administrator is Raine Grayson. Our Marketing and Digital Coordinator is Laura Marie Ruocco. Our Administrative Assistant is Riley Gibbons. Our Graphic Designer and Webmaster is Lauren Gill. Our Partnership Outreach Coordinator is Dara Laurie. Our workshop leaders are Perla Aora, Haley Downs, Raine Grayson, Ray Lipkind, Dara Laurie, Micah, Julie Novak, Blake Pfeil, and me, Eva Tenuto. To learn more and to find a special writing prompt so you can start telling your story, visit tmiproject.org/podcast.